Welcome to Blowing Smoke with Twisted Rico. I'm your host, Steve Ricardo, coming to you live from the New Alliance Music and Art Complex in beautiful Union Square in lovely Somerville, Mass. Hi, Dia.
Hey, how are you,
Dia's
Steve?
back. Dia's a regular now. We can't call her a guest co-host anymore. She's now a co-host.
Have you still been calling me a guest co-host?
I kind of think I was.
Okay, well,
But I'm not going to do that anymore.
I've just assumed that I was a co-host now.
So I got something for you, okay? Miss co-host, I got something for you, okay?
What?
While I was trying to get my liberal arts degree at Quinsigamond Community College in Worcester, I was seeing like as many local original bands as I could, along with any national touring bands that would come through. It was a good time for music, and the more I got to know musicians and see shows, the more I knew I wanted to do this for a living. Originally, I wanted to be a rock star. I stood in front of my mirror with a hockey stick, but my guitar playing skills, once I started playing guitar, were kind of weak, and I couldn't sing. Actually, it was more like laziness on my part, because if you really want to be a rock star, people don't realize it, but you have to put a lot of work into it. But I worshipped Cream magazine and I worshipped Circus magazine as a kid. So I worked. I decided I wanted to write. So I when I got to Quinsig, I became the editor of the school newspaper there. But mostly I was into music. That's why I did it. And I was into like both heavy bands and punk bands. So one day I could be checking out the band August at a hard rock club, and then the next day I could be at a punk show watching Crazy Jack and the Automatics, Blue Moon Band, Lynch Mob, and all these other cool bands in the Worcester area. As I was wrapping up my schooling at Quinsig, it was time to move on to a 4-year school, and my girlfriend at the time, Denise, and I were like plotting the move out. She pushed me towards Framingham State University, and I did get accepted there, which is a miracle because I wasn't a very good student. Philosophy was my best class in college. I was really good in philosophy, believe it or not, but nothing else. Philosophy and journalism. Once I got accepted into the media communications program there, and before school even started, I knew there was a college radio station there, WDJM. So I visited the station at the end of the summer, and the minute I walked in, I knew I have to be a DJ on this station. It was my calling in life to be a disc jockey. So I basically started talking to people and telling everyone there that I wanted to be a DJ. And I would go into there was a listening room that has albums all over the wall. I was in my glory, man. I never saw so much music. And the cool people there let me go on the air. They showed me how to use the equipment, and they gave me a show. And this is before school even started. This is in like late August. It didn't take long for me to like really get acquainted, and I started hanging around there a lot. And I felt like, if I was a DJ, I could get through school. I was barely there a week, and school hadn't even started. And I didn't even know what a playlist was at that time. But, I'm not even a big Doors fan, okay? I don't even like the Doors. But for some inexplicable... What was that?
How's that possible?
You like the Doors?
I like the Doors.
I'm not a big Doors fan, but
okay.
Check this out and you'll see what happens.
All right. I'm listening.
I was playing a Doors song because I like the line, "Wild child full of grace, savior of the human race." Nina, if you're out there listening, our girl Nina, she loves the Doors. She loves all old stuff, and she's like 25. It's amazing how she loves young music. And while the song's playing, all of a sudden, some guy with green hair comes barging into the booth, doesn't say hi or anything. He just says, "Don't ever play that song on this station again." And he walks out. And I'm like, who was that guy, right? That was the day I met John Long, the station's music director. When my show was done, I went out into the office where he was, and I asked him, what was that all about? And then he explained to me that the station had a format, and he handed me a playlist full of bands, most of which I never heard of. And he told me I could listen to all these records in the listening room, and that's what I should stick to the next time I did a show. Turned out that was like the best learning experience of my life, and John Long ended up being the most important person I had met in my life up to that point. So thank you, John Long, wherever you are. Before you knew it, it was all about 91.3 WDJM Framingham, your alternative source. or something like that. We played everything from Joy Division to SSD Control to Echo and the Bunnymen. All the new underground stuff that most people knew nothing about back in 1981, we played it. Soon I became friends with all the cool kids at the station. Penny Godfrey, Ivan, Better Red Than Dead Sloven, Glenn Maddow, who was a previous guest on the show, member of All Mod Cons. He was on the show not too long ago. Maura Scarducci, Mary Durkin, Rocket John, and even the classical music director, Marcy Mills. Once I was firmly implanted and the new wave of DJs came in, and the next year I ended up becoming the music director once John Long moved on. At that time, Steve Peck and Jennifer Whitman and Rob Tim, Sue McGrath, Cindy Prunia, Lori Rose, Sue Atkinson, Captain Jack, Matt McLean, so many others. They all showed up and we had a scene there. We had a scene at WDJM. That's when we got to know Boston bands and we put our station on the map. In fact, even when I left, that station went to the next level and they got a wattage increase. It was fantastic. The Rockin' in Boston local show was extremely popular. We did that every Thursday night, played all Boston bands. College radio basically was where it all started for me. In fact, that's how it started for a lot of people that I ended up working with. So if it wasn't for John Long yelling at me and all the cool people I met at WDJM, I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking music with you people out there and you guys in here right now. All right, I think we can play a song now, Herb. This is a song that was getting tons of airplay on WDJM. This one's by the New Models. It's called Permanent Vacation.
Well, I'm standing on the corner and I'm waiting for you. I stand on the corner, I got nothing to do. I know nothing, nothing at all. Well, I stand on the corner, baby, you're not there, so I take a vacation. I don't care about nothing, nothing at all. I get bored.
was the New Models, Permanent Vacation. We played the hell out of that one on WDJM. There were some rumblings about a possible reunion show by them, and I wouldn't mind seeing that. You'll never believe what happened. We have a show crasher.
Hello.
Jill
That was loud. You made me get so close.
Jill Chilly Kurtz, lead singer of the punkified blues band Caged Heat, just showed up out of the blue, and she demanded to be on the show, so we couldn't say no to her. So she's here.
I said, let me in, let me in. He
So
said,
what's
not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. But I huffed, and I puffed, and then we got stoned.
That show's next. The Smarter Guy High shows. No,
Oh, I forgot. We're not on the pot
Hey,
show.
if you want to get high on this show, believe me, I know at least one. Well, actually, I don't think anyone will mind on this show. But
Nobody minds on this show.
nobody minds. We don't care. So whatever happens, happens. So how you been, Chilly?
I'm doing well, thank you. How have you been? It's a
Very good.
sauna in here, huh?
Yeah, we're trying to lose weight.
Are they trying to save on the electricity bill in the building?
This is, we're right next to the cemetery, so, we have to keep it warm down here. We don't want the cold, dead people sneaking in through the walls.
Well, I would
you
think
know?
the warmth would invite them in because they need to get warm because they're so
Yeah,
cold.
Thank you, Jill. I didn't know how to take that one. Like that, the logic there was brilliant.
Sorry, I'm taking photos during the show. So it's great that you're here, Chilly, because we have a really funny segment, and I'm glad that you're
Can't
here.
wait.
We're all going to participate in this. My friend Debbie Rogers, who I worked with at Green World Enigma for a long time ago, has been sending questions to ask on the show, and they were so good last week that Dia and I thought it would be good to use some more of her questions. So. Debbie worked for Green World Enigma, like I said, and then she worked with Iron Maiden for a long time, so she's really cool. The first question, and I want everyone to participate and give an answer, including you, Herb. I know you love getting on the mic. The first question is, and I'll go last, okay? And who wants to go first? Without even knowing the question.
Well, I guess I should go first because I do know the question.
Oh, you do, you cheater. Okay,
Sorry.
the question is, what is the worst concert you've ever been to? The worst.
The worst concert I've ever been to is... Actually, I haven't been to that many concerts, so I've been to maybe 3 or 4 concerts in my life, if that's possible. And I'm one of those. Actually, so I was really excited to go see U2, and the very first time I went and saw U2, but I saw them when they were much older, and so it just felt like, I missed out on their glory days. So that was probably not my favorite. It was disappointing.
Wow.
It was the most
U2.
disappointing.
I never saw U2. Did you guys see U2?
I never saw him.
I saw them once.
Oh, you did?
Very
Wow.
good.
So
Very
two of
good.
you have seen U2. I'm not a really huge U2 fan, but, I would probably enjoy their concert.
You definitely would. I
It's
think.
okay that you didn't.
I'm sorry. It
No,
was like
it's
I was.
fine.
I saw them
I'm
when they
sure
were
they-
older, and the second time I watched them twice. The second time I watched them, I actually preferred them.
Is there an
it was
honorable
just-
mention for the worst concert you've ever seen?
What do you mean?
Well,
That
she
was-
said she was.
yeah.
She said she only saw 3.
yeah,
I'm
I
hoping
haven't
2
been
of
to
them
that.
were good. Come
Well,
on.
I'm gonna-
Right, exactly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Actually,
for
I
pointing.
could also say I could also say Dave Matthews because their concerts to me sound the exact same, and it doesn't even matter.
So basically, Dia's never seen a good concert in her life.
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
There'll be other opportunities, we hope.
I hope. I
hope.
was finally getting to that point where I'm like, okay, now I have time and the cash to do it. Let's do this.
And now there's no concerts anymore.
Right.
Herb, you want to go next?
Sure. I can't remember the artist's name, but I think she did the song for that what is it, Frozen movie for Disney. I don't know. You know what I'm talking
That
about?
woman,
She'll know.
What
Chilly
is her
will
name?
know. She knows all the
Can't
sappy
believe I
female
can't
singers.
think of her name. Something
let her go.
Indira. Yeah, she's got a cool name.
Inagata Davida.
But I had to work that show. And
You worked the show for her? I mean,
Yeah,
she's
I
got
worked.
an awesome voice.
Yeah, but it was oh my god, I couldn't
yeah,
wait
it must
for it.
have
I
been
couldn't.
torture.
Yeah, I could not wait for it to end. It was that she's not skillful.
Indina? What's her name? Did you look it up?
I haven't looked
Something
it up.
Indina.
Ah, dude, it's not that she was like
Enigma?
it wasn't bad production. It wasn't like bad. It's just like not my thing, and it was like, oh my god, dude, I wanted to like blow the top of my head off.
It's okay, her, but we didn't give you any chance to
Indina
like.
Menzel.
Indina Menzel. I was
Indina
so
Menzel.
close.
Thank God for the
I knew
internet.
there was an
Indina
Thank God.
Menzel.
I love it. I love it.
Wow. Okay. Good one.
That's amazing
Yeah.
that you did sound for Indina Menzel.
Oh,
Like,
not even
amazing.
sound. It wasn't even that cool, dude. I was passing out drinks.
Oh,
It was a brand ambassador gig, dude.
they probably needed a lot of drinks though, right, to get through that concert.
Sounds like
Someone
fun,
did,
her.
yeah.
All the parents needed
Yeah,
it.
someone did.
What about you,
the
Chilly?
parents.
What's the worst concert you've ever seen?
God, I'm like completely drawing a blank on bad concerts, but I'll say that one time I was driving down 84 on my way to visit my family in New York, and these two guys drove next to me for a long time. They were trying to get my attention, and I was like, F you, leave me alone. I finally turn over to see what do they want. Maybe something's wrong with my car or something, and they have an extra ticket to go see Tom Petty and Georgia Satellites.
What?
So, the show was in Connecticut. I was in Connecticut, and so I followed them to go see this show. So they gave me a ticket. Now, the show was actually amazing. Both Georgia Satellites and Tom Petty were great, but at the end of the show, these guys got real creepy and weird. But so I made friends with the people that were sitting next to us, and they literally had to just walk me to my car so that I didn't disappear and never be heard from again.
Wow. And let me just point out that Chilly is a kind of woman you don't want to mess with. I've seen her like in action a few times. You don't want to mess with her.
What?
So if she was intimidated by
Yeah.
those guys, that
It
says a
was
lot.
creepy. It was a good show, though, so I sort of didn't really answer the question properly. But I can find redeeming qualities in every show that I've seen.
Well, it's funny because I was going to answer this question two ways. One, I was going to say I actually fell asleep at a concert once.
What?
It's the only concert I ever fell
Who?
asleep at. Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I smoked so much weed, man, that they were playing the longest solos. Like they would play like a drum solo for 8 hours, then a keyboard solo, then Greg Lake would finally sing, and then they'd play another keyboard. I passed out.
Where was that show?
That was at the Springfield Civic Center. But hands down, and this will not be popular, I know I'm not popular for my dislike of Radiohead, my dislike of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, my dislike of, who else do I really dislike? There's someone else too, but
Aerosmith?
they're okay. I've seen them like 15 times. But
Guns
the
N'
worst
Roses.
show I ever saw, and I'll give you a little lead up to it, my old friend Mark Constant said, I'm going to take you to a concert that's going to change your life. And I'm like, okay. He takes me to see the E Street Band at Foxborough Stadium
on.
with 60,000 idiots singing "Born in the USA." Born.
You do.
And
You
I
are going to
was
make
like,
a lot of enemies.
This
Yes,
is horrible.
They rock.
This is horrible.
Awesome band.
Horrible.
Tight, amazing
Horrible.
band, even if Little Steven is in there.
We're not talking about Little Steven today. I'm mad that you brought that up. You shouldn't have brought
You were
that
the
up.
one who brought it up, E Street Band.
Well, I don't
can't
like-
believe you hated that show.
It was
Shocked.
boring. It's not the kind of. I don't
Okay.
like a bunch of meatheads all singing along. Now I'm going to get
Yeah,
beat
but
up.
what about
But,
the
you
like
know.
people on the stage as opposed to the people around?
Clarence Clemens was cool. I liked him.
Okay, we're entitled.
They
You're
were like,
entitled to your
what do they have?
opinion.
Like 4 guitar players in their band?
Even if it's wrong.
How many guitar players do you need? I didn't know you liked the E Street Band.
I mean,
Forgive me.
I appreciate Bruce Springsteen.
Sleaze. See, I told you that's distracting.
Grinder.
There's a screen in here that shows photos, and every once in a while, someone we see comes up. Chilly knows Sleaze Grinder too. So, okay, next question. Shut up, Steve.
Shout out to Sleaze Grinder.
Steve just doesn't want to talk about Bruce Springsteen anymore.
No,
Right.
I didn't mention Springsteen. I mentioned the E Street Band.
That's true.
That's true.
Okay, you ready? This is a real good one. There's 3 parts of the question. I'm going to give you guys a little chance to think. If you started a band, I don't know if Chilly can really answer this because she's been in like 4 bands that I can think of. We'll have to remember all her bands in a second. If you started a band, what would it be named? Okay. What instrument would you play? And who else would be in your band? Oh, and 2 more questions. What style of music and what would you wear on stage? Who wants to go first?
Well,
You're gonna go first.
I'm gonna go first.
Okay,
here.
what's the name of the band?
The name of the band is Blood Gut.
Blood gut.
Blood
Love
Gut.
it.
Yeah, something really outrageous, something really out there. Meteor Spine or something. I don't know.
What instrument would you play?
I will be lead singer, of course.
The lead singer?
Lead singer, yeah.
He's gonna blow right through this. Who else would be in your band?
Chilly Kurtz.
Chilly Kurtz.
Yeah,
Yes.
all day, every day.
Okay,
Awesome.
Chilly plays drums,
Thank you.
bass, harmonica, and
Really
guitar.
good.
What instrument you gonna have her play?
All of the above.
She
if
probably
I can.
plays keyboard. Do you play keyboards too?
Only a little. Not.
I know you
not,
play the other
Not
four
good enough to
instruments.
be in a band.
One time I didn't know
Seriously,
she could
though,
drum.
Like after the show, give me a call. Let's like jam out.
Absolutely. I need
Didn't
to
I tell
get
you,
off my
Dia?
ass and
Flirt
play.
fest,
Yeah,
flirt
it's
fest,
good, it's
every
good.
time.
We can make
Um,
good music.
I'm sure.
Hey.
Can I just tell you one thing about Chilly that you should know since you're going to be in a band together? One time, I used to manage Caged Heat, so I was in their rehearsal space a lot. One time, Chilly sat at the drums, and I thought she was going to joke around. She was wailing on the drums, and I'm like, what?
I
You
love
play the
drums.
drums? I couldn't believe it. Herb, we're not done with you yet. Okay, you got Chilly Kurtz. That's enough. What style of music?
Contemporary jazz.
Wow. And what was the name again? Blood
Blood
Gut.
Blood
Gut.
gut. I love it.
All
Dude,
right.
once was a Boston band called Bloodletter.
Yes.
You know, the Megan
yes.
and Kate McLaughlin,
Yes.
right? Yep. And
Wow.
one more, Herb. This is a good one. What would you wear on stage?
Nude.
I knew it.
Come on.
I knew it.
Come
Nothing.
on, dude.
Nobody's going to be able to answer these questions now that Herb is
I
answering
know. How are
first.
you gonna go after that?
But Dia's going to have
true.
to go after this. Dia, if you started a band, what would your band be called?
Okay, can I start by telling you when I was really young, my mother told me that I shouldn't sing and shouldn't try and play an instrument. Okay, like right away. So
Thanks,
this
Mom.
is right, and this is why my love affair with music never really blossomed. Right. So I was like, all right, I can't do that. So, but when I was in 8th grade, my friends and I we had this like little group, and like we wanted
Where were you in the 8th grade?
we were younger. This was like 6th or 7th grade. I was in Dubai. I was living in Dubai.
Wow.
And yeah, so I had like this group of girls who were friends, and we roller skating was a big thing back then. And so we had these, pink roller skates that none of us really knew how to roller skate because really, like, we weren't really allowed to be outside roller skating all over the place. It was a safety thing. And so we weren't good. But what we would do, and the music that we got was, the music that we heard, or the new music that we heard was on Casey Kasem Top 40.
Casey
Casey
Kasem.
Awesome.
Top 40. And so we would, literally sit there and like, stop and play so we can get the lyrics down and so we could like sing along.
Wow.
And so,
Wait a minute. What was the name of this band?
Gadveps.
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 What is that?
It's so we decided we needed a couple of vowels in there, but the rest of the letters represented.
I knew this was going to be weird.
Awesome.
Blood, gut, and
Gadveps.
gadveps.
Yeah.
I love
like,
Wow.
So like, right?
I'm going to
like,
be boring compared to you guys.
So like teeny bopperish, Of course, I was thinking pop, but then I was like, all right, but that's not what we listened to back then. We listened to R&B. So it'd probably be an R&B band on roller skates,
Oh.
Sounds
right?
good.
With 5 girls.
Okay.
Like that could
Awesome.
be cute, right?
I like it.
Yeah.
R&B. I think you answered the only thing that you didn't answer was what would you wear? But I guess you'd be wearing roller blades, right?
Roller skates.
Roller skates.
It had to have the 4 because the blades weren't out yet. The roller, right? It was the 4.
Real roller skates.
Real
I
Helmet
can't
or
believe
no
you're
helmet?
even old enough for that. But
No
okay.
helmets back then. No
I don't know.
helmets back then.
I don't know if Chilly can actually
I
answer.
can't answer that. I've
Yeah.
already done it.
Yeah, she's,
it's not
wow,
fair.
you put
You
your
answer.
mask on. Chilly's incognito. Okay, I did prepare myself a little. I cheated. I actually did have a band when I used to try and play guitar. I was okay, but I never really stuck to it. And the band was called Looks Are Deceiving, and I played guitar. But if I could actually get my dream band together, I would have Jennifer Finch from L7 on bass. I would have Bill Stevenson from the Descendants / Black Flag on drums. If Keith Moon was alive, he would have been my drummer. And I would have PJ Harvey on lead vocals. And I would just sit, be in the background rocking out. It would be a punk band. And are you ready for this? This is what I would wear. I would be in drag. I would wear a mini skirt, a garter belt, and black boots.
Just learn something
That
about you.
has.
Gotta
Oh my
bring it. You
God.
gotta bring it.
That
like the, Whoop,
explains
lost the camera. You gotta bring it like the New York Dolls brought it.
That explains
If
it.
you're watching on YouTube, we just had a monumental failure happen, but Herb's the man. He'll fix it.
I mean, Steve just said he was going to be in drag.
I
Yeah,
know.
exactly. That was perfect.
Did
timing.
Herb
Right.
get excited about that? It's
I don't think the
possible.
camera
I
wanted
don't
that
know.
either, though.
I would love to see that, and those pictures need to go up on Bumble if you ever make it happen.
The pictures need to go up on.
Don't do
Did you hear what he said, dear?
Yeah.
He said the pictures need to go up on Bumble if I ever do it.
Done.
They're trying to
For
get me to do
sure.
online dating. It's
For
a
sure.
long thing.
Oh God, I get it. I get
All right,
it.
We
so-
just
Why
think
you
he
don't
needs to
want
get out and be
to.
dating, though.
I mean, he's a great guy, but I get the not wanting to do the online thing.
Since there's
Yeah,
only.
but he's a great guy. Like,
He
how
is
else
a
are you
great
meeting
guy.
people these
You're-
days? You
you're
know?
absolutely
Wait, you're
right.
talking about me?
We
Being a
are.
great
We
guy?
are.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've had great taste in women my whole life. There's at least
Absolutely
one
the best.
person in the room that will agree with that, because there may have
Actually, I think you have terrible taste in women.
Okay, some people may or may not know that there was a time that Chilly and I
Especially
were
that
you know,
picture that
kinda
was
close.
hanging on your. Well, we won't go there.
Dia gives me a hard time because I always talk about ex-girlfriends on the air. Well, brought one in the room this week, so give me a hard
It's
time
like,
about that.
yeah, I'm not giving you a hard time about that. And, you just carry them with you. Like, wherever
Exactly.
you go.
She wants
It's
you to look forward instead
Right.
of back.
Right, let it go.
What did I get myself into? Before I ask the next question, I do
Simple
have to
questions.
ask. You mentioned Dubai,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm doing this for Chilly. Have you ever been to Bali?
I have not been to Bali. I, want to go to Bali.
Chilly has a great song called "Going Back
Bali.
to."
It's called Bali.
Just Bali. It's
gotta
all
get
about-
to Bali before I die.
Gotta get to Bali
Of course.
before I die.
Maybe
Yeah,
we met
great
today so
song.
we can go to Bali together.
Absolutely. I gotta get my
Yeah.
passport and I'm ready to go.
Let's
We'll have
go.
to warn everyone
go.
about that trip before it happens. Okay,
It'll
here's
be a blast.
we got another question.
Awesome.
Herb, you're gonna go first. It's a simple question, but you can elaborate if you want. If you could be any age, what would it be? You're kind of young, so it's gonna be easy for you.
27.
Are you 27 now?
No, I'm like 35, man.
You like 35?
Yeah, I'm around there.
Why 27?
So I can make the 27 club, dude.
Oh.
Huh?
The 27 Club. You talking about all the people that died when they were 27?
Yes.
no.
Who's that? Like Janis Joplin?
Hendrix? No, he died earlier.
Hendrix?
Hendrix. Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain.
Was he 30 something?
Johnson was his name.
Was any of the guys in Skinner 27 when they went down?
No, but they went down.
Robert Johnson.
Was he 27?
He's the
Wow.
first one.
Huh. Morrison, Jim Morrison,
Morrison.
Dia's favorite band, The
Yeah,
Doors.
Oh, my favorite band.
Well, you stuck up for him when I, badmouthed them before.
Well,
so.
because, you badmouth some bands that, other people might be offended by. Like, the E Street Band. Like, you just, like, how'd you just do that? Like, you can't come to my house anymore, you realize. Like, Maxine will never talk to you again.
She's an E
like-
Street Band fan.
Oh, my
Well,
God. Like, she's a Bruce Springsteen fan like nobody's business.
okay, I like them better than Radiohead.
What's wrong with
How's
Radiohead?
that? What's wrong with Radiohead? We're not
Kidding,
going
kidding.
there.
We're not going there.
If you could be any age at all, dear, what age would you be and why?
I'm actually enjoying my 30s, and so like I really like the age that I am right now. I'm actually, for the first time in my life, I feel like I've accepted my age, and I don't know, I know enough about the world where I don't feel like an idiot bumbling through anymore and making the stupid mistakes anymore. I feel like I can
30s.
actually do 30s.
I might be resembling that thought in a minute or two.
All
What
right.
about you, Chilly?
Well, when I go back to this age, do I get to bring the knowledge with me that I have at the age I am now?
It's a good question. It's a good question. Yes, you do.
I do? Oh, well,
Yes.
then I want to be born again and start from scratch.
Somehow Chilly Kurtz
change
saying
my
she wants to
answer
be born again just doesn't go very well in my brain. You know?
Well, I mean, yeah, I want to be an infant and go through the birthing process.
I know. I know what you were saying. I know.
So
Well-
can I change my answer then? So if we can actually take our knowledge with us, I want to be about 26.
I do think that's a good
26.
age in the 20s would be nice
Yeah.
to go back there with the knowledge.
Yeah.
I just figured might as well like go way back because imagine what you could accomplish.
Well, but then you
Knowing
don't.
what you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, you
Yeah.
would say like, oh, well, then you don't get to experience all this stuff, but it would be like all new experiences.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
how far could you go if you
Right.
could start over?
Right.
Who knows?
Wow.
I mean,
Lovely answers. I made my answer a little, I put 30 to 35 because unfortunately for me, I'm the oldest one here by a significant amount of
we're
years.
still trying to figure out how
But
old he is.
don't-
Just saying.
Oh, I know.
If
how
you
old
say,
he is.
if you will,
Sweet.
you'll never be on the show again.
My lips are
Never.
sealed. It's not my place.
You'll never be on the
Not
show
my
again.
place.
I've
Never.
never met a man who will not talk about his age. It's kind of funny.
The reason I would like to be in between 30 and 35 is because I think the 20s are kind of like for me it was anyways. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was just out of my skull, But when I hit the 30, I started to hit stride. And I actually almost said closer to 40 because I think that's a really good age. Anywhere from 30 to 40 is like really good. I like that age. That's what I picked.
It's a whole decade. That's not really one age.
You
Just
all
saying.
passed the audition. I do have to say, before we play a song, and you're going to stick around because we're going to talk some more Chilly. But before I go on, Chilly said something really funny to me on the phone. we were talking politics for a couple minutes, and she used a band reference to describe Donald Trump followers. She said, blind faith. And I just thought that was brilliant. I know all the Republicans out there are going to hate me now, but that's okay because I'm not going to say it's mutual because I don't hate anyone. But I thought that was funny, and I,
I
wanted
thought
to
you
bring
could
it up.
have used that. You were supposed to own that and just use it.
No,
when-
I can't
when it
take
came
that
out.
from you. That was you. You came up with it.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, I didn't come up with blind faith, but let's
The
not talk
reference, though,
politics.
to the
I think
followers.
it's a bad idea, like you said.
Okay, we're going to play another song. This is another song from when I was at DJM that we used to play a lot. This is a good one. This is Mission of Burma Academy fight song. Take it away, Herb.
Walk into my room, ask me jerky questions. Don't mean what you say. Immaculate protection. Play by all the rules. So close
Mission of Burma, Academy Fight Song, one of the greatest Boston band songs ever, produced by our good friend Rick Hart. Dia brought up to me the fact that we haven't done favorite Instagram accounts in a while.
Oh wait, I have a band name. I have a song.
Uh-oh.
I have a song.
We're going back to a previous segment.
We're going back to a previous show. So you know how you asked what was the most overplayed song?
Oh, you're going back to that show.
Yeah.
Okay, the most overplayed song of all time. Of course, I said "Born in the USA."
Born-
I'm really doing well with the East Street Band fans out
my
there.
God.
What did you?
Of course, it just dropped out of my head as I wanted
hate
to
when
say
that
it.
happens. It'll come back.
I told you this though. What did I tell you?
Oh, jeez.
told
Oh,
you
I
this.
know. The Red Sox played the song at every game out in the seventh inning. Sweet Caroline.
Sweet Caroline. I
That
think
is
that's
an
the
overplayed
most overplayed song in this country overall. Like, oh my God, everywhere.
Neil Diamond, right?
Neil Diamond, do you have any songs that you think are the most overplayed songs, Chilly?
Oh my God, probably a lot of them, but not off the top of my head.
Not off the top of your head.
I mean, Freebird goes through my head, but I
Freebird.
like Freebird.
Yeah.
So I don't want to
You know,
say
I would
that.
never say Stairway to Heaven because I was watching that Kennedy Honors thing that happened a few years ago when the three remaining members of Led Zeppelin were sitting up in the balcony and Jason Bonham came out with Annie and Nancy Wilson and I forget some guy that I didn't know, some session guitar player. They did the most killer version of Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, yeah,
it
they
was
do
just
great
phenomenal. Robert Plant was crying.
Aw.
And Patty Griffin was sitting right behind him. That made my day because Patty's an old friend of mine. They ended up getting married. She was sitting right behind Robert Plant, and I'm like, "There's Patty." We worked together at A&M and stuff. Okay, so can we do the Instagram thing now, or did you want to?
No,
Did you hear,
interrupt
by
you
the way,
again.
that
No.
Trump wants to put his face on Mount Rushmore?
I have lots of thoughts about that I cannot share on the air.
We try to
That was so funny.
we try to avoid him
Hysterical.
on this show, and I brought him up, which
You
I
did. I just had
shouldn't
to
have.
add it. But go ahead, dude. Go ahead.
Well, you know, I picked
I
a
can't
few.
believe it took so long.
I've picked a few of my favorite Instagram accounts here. Some of these people you guys might not know, some you might know. The first one was at Satanic Mechanic, SEITANIC_mechanic. It's Metal Mary, who's like the queen of metal in Pittsburgh, and she's a mechanic and she's a vegan. Satanic Mechanic. I thought that her account's really cool. She posts a lot of cool stuff about when she's working, her bands, other bands. She's very metal. She's a total metalhead. The next one you guys know, at Chef Paul Wahlberg, which, you know, the Wahlberg family. I kind of picked that because I know Herb's from Dorchester, so maybe he might give us a little insight on the Wahlbergs since he grew up in their neighborhood.
My neighborhood, but
Didn't you tell us that you met a Wahlberg once?
I met Marky Mark. I met Marky Mark when I was a kid once. Yeah.
When you were a kid, how old was he? How far apart are you guys?
Oh, I don't know. He's got like 15 to 20 years on me. Yeah.
Okay.
I was a kid. Me and my friends were into BMXing. And we were out, doing the bike thing in the middle of the night, and here comes Marky Mark with like an entourage of people walking down the street. Like, my buddy recognizes him. And he goes, "Hey, aren't you Marky Mark?" And his reply was, "Don't call me that."
I knew it. I knew it. He does not like that.
Yeah, that's
what
a no-no.
grown man wants to be called Marky
I'm not a Mark. I'm sorry. I know I'm not making a lot of fans when I say who I don't like, but I'm not much of a Marky.
Well.
Although in Boogie Nights, the film, he was great.
Oh, he was
when he
awesome.
played the porn star, that was
awesome.
Yeah,
fantastic.
that's good.
He was
He's a
really
good
good in that.
actor.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He
He's
was
got some
also
good
good in
movies.
he was good in The Departed too.
Yeah.
Because he
Oh, yeah.
blew away Matt Damon at the end of the film. That was the best part of the film. Sorry if someone out
Just
there
killed
hasn't
it.
seen the film,
Yeah.
but that was my favorite
Spoiler
part.
alert.
When he walks in that all white because he didn't want to leave any prints or anything. He went, "Bye," and he blew him away. That was fantastic. I do like Donnie though. I
Donnie's
like
cool, too.
Donnie.
Oh,
I like
love
his wife a
Donnie.
lot, Jenny McCarthy.
Oh yeah, you do.
Of course I do.
Of course you do.
Because blondes have more fun. Chilly's a blonde for the people out there that can't see that are on the YouTuber. But I don't know. I kind of like Paulie Wahlberg. He's kind of funny, and I think Wahlberg is actually pretty good. I'm a vegetarian.
Is
I-
his
Oh,
stuff
yeah, I like that
mostly
food.
about food on like what is he?
Yeah, he posts about food, and then he has like the other family members come are on his Instagram and stuff. It's kind of cool. I
Bunch of burgers.
I watched a couple episodes of that show, and it was a hoot. It really was a
The
hoot.
show was pretty funny.
I mean, I liked it, especially when Jenny McCarthy was on. But
Not surprising.
then we have Nancy Burrell. Like some people might not know she is at Nancy Burrell. She's the wife of Al Burrell, the lead guitarist and the guy that started the whole Boston punk scene. He was the guitar player of SSD Control, and he started the whole scene. What people don't know is that Nancy, she was way involved in the scene. She's like the first woman in hardcore because she knew everybody. She posts pictures of her hanging around with Ian MacKaye and all these punk guys from all over the place. And here's the best part about Nancy Burrell. She became a teacher, and she won Massachusetts Teacher of the Year.
Aw, that's
Former
awesome.
hardcore punk, leather jacket, Mass Teacher of the Year. I wish I had her for a teacher.
She was pretty. Her Instagram
Her
page was
and
pretty
Jenny
cool.
McCarthy.
Yeah.
You checked out her page?
I
Yeah,
did.
she's
I did.
really cool.
I really like the old photos
She
on there.
posts a lot of black and white
And
photos.
they're beautiful photos.
Gail Rush, actually, Alvin Long's wife,
Yeah, yeah.
Gail, she took a lot of those old early
Oh,
hardcore
cool.
pictures because her daughter,
beautiful.
Christina Elise McCarthy, the actress,
Yeah.
hung around with SSD Control. And so she has all these great photos. There was a show out here at New Alliance once with her photos, and it was one of the best shows, except for the current show that's out there
she
now.
must have an amazing collection.
Yeah.
of
Plug my own
every
self when I
band that
can.
she's taken pictures
It was
of.
amazing to see those pictures on the
Yeah,
wall
she's-
actually, because it was just like it was mind blowing. It's like, oh my god, like that's here. That's,
I
great.
was in the Boston,
mind-blowing.
the film about the Boston hardcore scene, and I said in the film that I was afraid to go hang around with those guys because you couldn't smoke, drink. They didn't even like you if you had girlfriends. They would just beat the crap
FSU.
out of you. No, not FS. No. This is the Boston crew. This is SSD Control, DYS, all those guys, They were just hardcore, straight edge dudes. And they did not want you around smoking cigarettes even or drinking beer. So and weed. I was like in college, I'm like, I'm not going to hang out with those guys. And I said it in the film and people were laughing. He was afraid to go hang out. I'm like, I had long hair, man. I was a punk with long hair. It didn't go well back then.
Yeah, they probably would have kicked your ass.
They would have. But Al Burrell and I, we communicate a lot on Facebook. I want him to come on the show, actually. I want Nancy to come on the show, actually. I think they would both be
Have
great.
you asked them?
Not yet because of COVID, the COVID thing. So I've been waiting for things to clear up. Hopefully they will by 2022. Next, I had to put this guy on my list because I'm always on his Facebook page, his Instagram plays at Rob Patillo. Robbie, some people know him as Robbie Roadsteamer, good friend of ours here at New Alliance. But what I love about his Instagram is his cat, Red. The cat is on that. Do you check out his Instagram?
Oh yeah, I follow.
That cat, he's on roofs, he's in trees, he's like that cat gets around. But then when Rob comes, the cat comes barreling out of nowhere. They live in Pasadena, I believe, California. So out there, I don't have much of a problem with people with the outdoor cats. I don't want to get into that because some people feel like cats can be in, out, whatever. But I'm an indoor cat guy. But his cat, Red, is great. And Rob used to be on WEMF with you. And, of course, he was a.k.a. Robbie Roadsteamer. And he's toured around. And he was on the Gong Show. They redid the Gong Show. He was on TV.
He was on the Gong Show.
Yeah, he
The
won,
new
too.
one, right? He won.
He won the Gong Show.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I didn't
And
know that.
I guess he
love
got
it.
fired from his job at Whole Foods because he wouldn't mind me telling this because we're friends, because he called them out for like the employees like not doing what they were supposed to do, so they fired him. And but his Instagram's really good. Rob
What's the
Patillo.
Gong Show? I'm sorry to interrupt, but what's the Gong Show? Everyone seems to know about
It's
that.
like a show where people would go on and do their act, and they would compete to win. And there's 3 judges, and they have a gong. And if you suck,
Gong.
they gong you like in the middle of your
Nice.
performance, and you're done. If you make it through to the end and they don't gong you, then they give you points, and whoever's the most points at the end wins.
Got it. And what kind of acts? Like any act?
Like singers,
Weird stuff.
maybe animal trainers, like anything, just the most bizarre stuff, and also a lot of singers and musicians. Sure,
Nice.
it's a good
Cool.
show. But there's that.
I will YouTube
It must
that.
have been on the reboot, not the original Gong
Oh
Show.
no,
What's his name?
Rob Patillo.
No, the guy who hosted.
Oh,
the best.
oh my God.
The one that Patillo was on was hosted by Michael Myers.
Michael Myers,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. If you watch it, he's got like I think it was Michael Myers. He's got like prosthetics on or something, dude. He looks like really weird.
Really?
Because, yeah.
I can't remember the
original's
original
best
guy's
comedian.
name.
Oh my God, he's the best. We have to get through. I have
Dio
to
will
look
look
this
it up. While she's looking that up, I will say
You have to go original Gong Show.
Will do.
I had
host of the original Gong Show.
I also had the Sierra Club on my list. I know that's far removed from everything we usually talk about, but I think they're a great organization that protects wildlife and the environment.
Chuck
And I-
Barris.
Chuck Barris.
Thank you. Didn't he die horribly of like some horrible sex accident? Like
A sex accident.
where
That's
he
a good
choked
way to go,
himself
though.
by accident.
yeah.
What was it again?
Choked himself out? I don't know.
Can't remember.
Dio
How
will
did
tell
he
us.
I'm
die?
gonna try and get on. Now I need to get on Wiki to see what's happening.
I can't. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I every once in a while I get serious, but I just wanted to say at Sierra Club is a great site to follow if you care about wildlife and the environment. And that reminds me, been meaning to mention this on the show for a while. I want to mention today. There's an organization called Kitty Angels. They're located in the North Shore in New Hampshire.
Nothing interesting.
Okay.
Nothing interesting.
Nothing interesting.
Interesting time.
Kitty,
Lives
Kitty,
the life. Sorry.
Chilly knows Kitty Angels because KHT played some of their benefits.
Yeah, and you've done a lot for them. It's awesome.
Well, I want to mention them
It's
because
really
once
good.
again they're helping me, try and get some cats in my neighborhood. That we've rescued like 8 cats there, and most of them, I'm not going to get into the details. They have terrible things wrong with them because they're abused and abandoned. And I wanted to just thank Lisa on the show because she comes out and she'll sit out there in the middle of the night or whatever, set up traps, and then they bring the cats to the vet and they, do whatever they need. If they're feral, they re-release them, but none of them have been feral yet. So they get them adopted. And I think only one has not made it. Most of them have been adopted. So if you can find Kitty Angels online and you want to give them a donation, I highly recommend it. Great organization. Chilly, I didn't have anything else. So, I mean, what are you up to? I mean, are you really going to form a band with Herb now? Because people keep asking me, when's
It's our
KHT
cool
going to play?
jazz band.
Oh yeah, you know.
Cool jazz.
I couldn't remember how he described it. Something
Contemporary jazz.
Contemporary jazz. Thank
But
you.
seriously, are you going to start playing?
Well,
or
I was about to
recording, or-
start playing right when COVID hit. I literally had just started to put a band together, and now
A new band?
yeah, a new band.
Nice.
But unfortunately, this happened, and now I've yet to play because it's just how do you get into a room with people and start playing music? I don't know what's gonna happen.
None of us do. We talked about that last week or the week before about what.
I mean, this will pass, though. This will pass, and I'd like to get back into doing something. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Dying to play.
Well, we've talked about in here, like, how do we get people together? And, like, coming back into the studio and being able to do this has been kind of amazing for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Right?
bet.
Yeah, it really has. And so, I mean, I wonder, like, is there a way, like, is this a new band that you're meaning? Like, or
Well,
like,
it's people like I started with just a drummer. I was going to play with Jesse Mayer, and
Jesse
I
Mayer.
think he's ready to play, but I'm still so nervous and
Breaking
paranoid
news
about-
on Blowing
about
Smoke
getting
with Twisted
sick.
Rico.
Just think it
Chilly
seems
Kurtz
like
and
the
Jesse
worst to
Mayer.
just die alone in the hospital. Your family can't come see you. Of all the ways to go, it seems brutal. And
yeah.
I smoke, so I feel like I'm gonna, I'm high
Cigarettes?
risk. Yeah. gross. I
You're
know.
not the
I
only
gotta
one. I'm
quit.
the only one that
I
doesn't
gotta
smoke
quit.
in here. But I smoked for a long time.
Yeah, that makes me nervous because of the cigarettes. They say you're just so much more likely to get sick. If they say webs, I don't even want to get into it because it's who wants to talk about COVID.
No, we'd
but
rather
I
hear-
would love to play again. Is it safe? Is there anywhere to play? Like, it's all a big question mark.
Yeah, everything's a question mark.
I guess that's why I was asking, like, what would you do, like, if you wanted to start practicing, or like, Steve and I started working together outside of here, and so we started to just hang out and get to know each other better, and like, you kind of have to be in each other's energy, so sort of know each other, right? And I'm assuming when you play in a band, like, all of you have to kind of work together on stuff.
It's true. It's true.
So how do you do that from like afar? And because I mean, it goes back to like that band question, like how do we get back into doing stuff?
Exactly, a vaccine. I don't know. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, I feel like where I practice, there is a lot of space, but when you're playing music, it's like you're sweating, you're spitting, and it's a little scary, I think. You know?
Yeah.
I'm more worried about getting somebody sick than getting sick myself, too.
Absolutely.
I would feel so bad. I mean, somebody, the people were high risk that I'd be playing with, and God, I just don't know what to do. It's a big question mark. But I have been in the market for a Les Paul Jr. or some guitar, so if anybody is looking to sell their guitar, get in touch with me through Steve.
We got Asa Brebner's guitars on the wall over here. Chilly actually played with Asa Brebner a lot. You guys were good friends.
I miss him dearly. I was about to play with him, and we talked like 4 days before he died. We planned to get together the next week. I was going to play on a record he was recording, not for him, but for somebody else. And we were going to get together, and that crushed me. It seems like every time I get ready to play, something horrible happens. So hopefully next time it'll be good. It'll work. Like the jazz contemporary, nothing terrible will happen.
One of the bands that Chilly was in with Asa was called the LWs. They did all Little Walter cover songs. Little Walter's one of the blues icons.
Little Walter songs, but they were done by Little Walter, but they were written by Willie Dixon.
That's right. Yep, Willie Dixon.
But we still called it the LWs.
Chilly has
LWDs, I should call it.
Chilly tattooed Little Walter on her arm. It's a really good tattoo too. Tattoo too. She had a song called Tattoo too.
Because I had a cat named Tattoo.
It's funny. We're going through all the KG catalog.
Tat, the first cat's name was Tat. Second cat's name was
Tattoo.
That's cute.
Worked.
If you want to hear Cage Teat's music, by the way, you can go on Spotify and everywhere. You can find both albums, the Serious Action and the self-titled Cage Teat album. All the songs are up there. Plus, there's a few songs that were on compilations. Sunny Day was on the Scandalous Years
I have
compilation.
Recordings of LWs. I got to somehow get that up there.
Yeah.
With Asa, I gotta do that. That'd be awesome. You gotta help me with that.
Chilly will be back in the rock and roll ring again.
I'll be back for sure.
Doesn't sound like she's left.
No, she has.
I like that.
She's a great artist
I
too,
never
by
left.
the way. Chilly's also a great artist, and
Thank you, Steve.
she's very talented. She has a dog walking business.
Oh, cool.
If anybody needs their dogs walked,
Just
Get in touch with
send
me for
me a
that.
message if you want your dog walked and you're in Somerville, Cambridge,
It's actually
Medford,
called Walking the
Malden,
Dogs.
Arlington. Walking the dog.
How do we
the
find
dogs.
Walking the dogs.
How do we find you there, Chilly?
Excuse me?
How do we find you there? Can we find you on?
Oh my God.
She doesn't even go on her Facebook page, so
Oh.
don't even,
This is true. Through Steve.
Okay, through Steve.
twistedrico@gmail.com. Chilly is the most
I talk to
unsocial
Steve
media.
all the time.
Chilly's not social media at all. It's not her thing. She doesn't do the social media thing.
It's true. I know. I need to play with somebody who's into social media.
I actually still run the Cage Teat Facebook page, the Cage Teat Twitter page. There isn't a Cage Teat Instagram.
I've
Maybe I
never
should
done
set one up.
Instagram. I know.
I'll set one up for you.
Ridiculous saying that, but I haven't.
You got Steve. It's okay.
Exactly.
You guys everyone has Steve.
As long as you got something.
Right.
Tia, do you want to do this or should I do it?
Up to you.
Okay, you can do it.
Our sponsors for today's show is JLS Design. JLS Design does custom screen printing and embroidery on t-shirts, hats, hoodies, and masks, and the like. In fact, our very popular Blowing Smoke with Twisted Rico t-shirts and masks were printed by JLS Design. You can reach them at jlsdesignprinting.com or by Gmail, jlsdesignsales@gmail.com. If you tell them Blowing Smoke with Twisted Rico sent you, you'll get a 10% discount.
Yeah.
And Dave over there is kind of awesome. Thank you, Dave.
Dave's the bass player of the Liars and Little Big Wheel. He's a good friend of ours. Cool. I did this last time. I'm going to do it again. I just want to take this opportunity to thank all the fine companies that have sponsored this podcast over the last year and a half. JLS Design was just mentioned, the Dark Horse Pub in Somerville, Baby Loves Tacos in Pittsburgh, Moonbeam Cafe in Oakmont, PA. If you're interested in sponsoring any of our episodes, please contact us at twistedrico@gmail. This iced tea right here is from the Diesel Cafe. Jess, I know you're out there. I'm waiting for Diesel to sponsor our show.
Did you ask them this morning when you picked
I
that
have
up?
not asked them, but I figure since I drink their iced tea on the show every week. Except for the seeds, for the lemons, because I love lemons.
You like 10 lemons in there.
Yes.
Chili knows I love lemons. It used to be 1369.
Yes.
1369 in Inman Square and also Central Square.
So good.
Johnny Strangeman, your old drummer, used to be at the original
Not
one.
anymore, though.
But Margaret
Changed
Margaret
hands.
from
Yeah,
Mr.
she
Airplane
came from there,
Man,
too.
Sugar Dish, who's now a famous burlesque star. They all started
They
at
did all
1369 in Inman Square.
Back when it was cool.
Yeah, Inman Square. I used to like Inman Square a lot. I haven't hung around there much lately,
I
but
miss it. I used to live in Inman Square.
yes,
Not
you
anymore.
did. The rock and roll buildings there. All these rock stars lived in. We talked about this with Mel
Speedball,
Letterman
baby.
actually, because the drummer of in Mel's Victory at Sea
Yep,
lived in the same
yep,
building with Juliana
yep,
Hatfield, and
yep.
she pays the rent, Kathy, and like
Yep,
all
yep.
these cool.
Speedball Baby lived there.
Yeah.
With, I can't think of his name. It's Ron from Speedball Baby.
It was a
lived there
real
with
rock and roll, two buildings in a row. It was all rock stars with a lot of rats living in the basement.
Yeah.
You would see
The rats are still there.
The rats are
stayed
like,
on.
In fact, it's really rat haven over there.
that's Cambridge.
They have
man.
a path going from the building to the S&S.
They kept the rats out of Harvard
They do.
Square.
I'm not lying.
They kept
Believe
the
you.
rats out of Harvard Square, but they could never keep them away from Central and
they're all over the
Inman.
place.
Forget it.
It's
Forget
gross.
about that. Before leaving, we want to thank our engineer, Dorchester's own Herb Marsiglio.
Yay!
And also all our patrons whose monthly contributions keep the Blowing Smoke with Twisted Rico podcast going. I have to read their names. Kevin, Ellie, Maria, Chris W., Heather, Sue K., Matt, Dave, Maria, Brian, Benjamin, Lee, Chad, Christopher, Kim, Hector, Kelly, and our newest Colleen, who just became a patron this week. If you want to join this cool club, you can go to www.patreon.com/Twisted Rico, and for $1 a month, you can sponsor this podcast. Please contact me at twistedrico@gmail.com or follow our Instagram page at Twisted Rico, or on Twitter, Blowing Smoke, at Blowing Smoke BS. There's also a Blowing Smoke with Twisted Rico Facebook page, and you can find some of our shows on YouTube as well. Thank you, Chilly, for crashing.
Thank you.
Show crasher.
It's fun to crash.
You're our first show crasher, actually, that we've ever had.
Right.
Thank you, Dia.
Thank you.
Good to see you
Nice
again.
to meet you, Chilly.
Great to meet
Yeah.
you. Dia.
We already thanked
Very
Herb.
happy to meet you.
This is Blowing Smoke with Twisted Rico. I'm your host, Steve Ricardo. Until the next time we say goodbye, keep the rock and roll alive. And who do we love? Busy Phillips.